So yeah, hi everybody. Welcome to our Dead Talk. We got the Deathslinger today. Um, Mr. Caleb Quinn.
Yeah,
Uh,
what a name.
this he was operating out of the Midwest. So the fact that all this happened, it's really believable because the fucking Midwest. I think he did move like farther west later on, but it started out in the Midwest.
Yeah, he has some
Um,
add-ons that talk about like Arizona desert sand, and I was just
yeah,
like, oh, okay, when did that happen?
Yeah, it's actually like in his lore, he started out in the Midwest, and then I think like when he went to prison, they must have sent him a little farther, farther out. Um, but yeah, he was
Oh
the
my
son of
god, Coco, you're on camera.
he was the son of an Irishman, and people were super anti-Irish back then. His dad was an engineer, and he could not get a job because everybody was like, I don't like Irish people because they were assholes. And Caleb actually like really took to his dad's work, like really enjoyed it. So his dad was like, "Fuck yeah, let me teach my son how to be an engineer." Gave him his wrench and everything. And Caleb ended up being like really fucking good at it. Like he had like a gun that would shoot railroad spikes into the ground and shit. Like he was making some really cool stuff. And one business actually pulled their head out of their ass and hired him. I think it was the West Railroad Company. And so he was working for them, making all this stuff. And it turns out that his boss had actually been selling his patents to somebody else. And Caleb was a bit pissed off. And his boss just pretended, like, oh, no, it's not a big deal. Like, just shrugged it off. And Caleb was very upset, and he took his railroad spike gun and he stapled Mr. Henry Bayshore to his desk. And he would have been killed for that, but Henry Bayshore lived, so he just got sent to prison for 15 years. Um, he did not like the inmates at all because they were pretty much illiterate, so he just kind of felt like I'm smarter than they are and didn't like them. And he ended up getting along with the warden of the prison. Uh, and he made a little deal with them, like, "Hey, I will make torture devices for all the other prisoners," and in exchange, he was getting extra meals. So this was working out pretty well for them for a while until finally the warden was like, "Listen, I'm really hot for capitalism, and the future of America is now. So I want to fill this prison with as many people as I can to make money off of them. And I would really like you to be the one that goes out and brings them in. Just bring all these guys in alive and drop them off at the prison. And in exchange, I have some connections, and we can, frame Bayshore and get him to rot in prison." And Caleb was like, "Hell yeah, fuck my old boss." So he went out and he made the gun that that he uses in the game. But the first couple of times he used it, somebody got like robbed a laundry, and he shot him with it and like completely eviscerated
Yeah.
him, and was like, "Oh well, shit. Back to the drawing board." And so
Oh man.
people started calling him the Deathslinger because they saw a man get eviscerated by this gun. And eventually he got it down. So he only wounded them when he shot them, which is why, you get injured when you get shot, or you have to mend or something. So anyway, he's bringing all these people in, and the warden actually starts to get a little nervous with him out there working by himself because he's doing a good job. He's just, he's out there by himself, word spreading. So he goes and hand selects a bunch of prisoners and sets up a posse for Caleb
Of other Irishmen.
of other Irishmen from the prison, and sends them out with him. And they keep doing what they're doing until Caleb gets a newspaper where he sees his boss Henry Bayshore shaking hands with the prison warden, And he was pretty pissed. Oh, by the way, his gun is called Death to Henry Bayshore. And if you prestige him and you get his upgraded gun, it is Violent Death to Henry Bayshore. Just so you know, he really hates his boss. So he decides that this is some bullshit, and his posse is loyal to him and not the warden at all. So they're like, dude, let's go fuck him up. So they do. They go into the prison and they broke in. They were kicking the shit out of the guards, and they go into the office where the warden is, and they lucked out because Henry Bayshore is there. So Caleb decides, I'm gonna beat the hell out of Henry Bayshore and lets his posse have the warden. But he wanted his prisoners brought in alive, so they didn't kill him. They just hurt them a lot and then brought them down to the prison and left them there with the inmates, who were very happy to take care of these people that had been torturing them for the last several years. And then the entity decided to pick him up because he went back to his old cell and was looking at his dad's wrench, and he couldn't even remember like where he got it at that point. And the entity's like, well, I'd be happy to hire you, and picked him up. And here he is.
Mr.
Good old
Caleb.
Caleb Quinn. Yeah.
I really liked his backstory.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Uh, Something you missed of his childhood when his dad was teaching him to engineer
Mhm.
that they pointed out was while he was with his dad, he was doing all these really genius, wholesome things
Mhm.
that he was designing, and his dad was like, "Good work, champ." But then his dad would leave the room and he'd be like, "Anyway, I made a spiked mask to torture my bullies with."
Oh yeah, I forgot about the mask.
And he would like draw pictures of them like wearing it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he had a bit of a grudge. Like you don't
yes,
mess with him.
I loved that part. And then when I was reading through his add-ons, there's one add-on, I forget what it's called, it's like a bullet or something. But it basically talks about how he was in one town trying to collect one of his bounties, and they got into a shoot off, as they do in Western times.
Yeah.
And in the trailer, you know how his jaw's all crooked, and then he like straightens it out because he's like a zombie kind of
Yeah.
weird looking dude. It's because he actually got shot in the jaw during that shootout.
Oh.
I think it's called Jawbreaker. I think that's what the add-on's called. um, or like the gun or the bullet or something was called Jawbreaker. But yeah, that's why it's like that and all off kilter.
I gotta say, like, out of all the killers, other than the fact that he was, designing torture devices for people, um, I felt like he was really relatable. Like, everybody's got that one boss that they're like, "Oh my god, I
Fuck
fucking hate
you.
that guy." And Caleb went out and lived the dream, man. Like,
Lukey's
I felt that, like, getting picked on by bullies and being like, "Man, if only I could, do something to defend myself, like, put their faces in a mask full of nails." I related to him on a very
I need to read a couple
personal
comments.
level.
I'd read a couple comments to you.
Okay.
Lukey says, "Wow, son, that torture mask is a total poggers moment." And Robin says, "He's relatable and daddy. He's got everything."
Jesus. But
Uh,
yeah, like, and that and the fact, like, he's got a lot of, like, ingenuity, like, he's clearly gifted. So I was like, if anybody's gonna, like, eventually rise up against the entity and actually win, it might actually be Caleb.
Actually, I I could see him because right now I'm assuming he has pretty sweet deal with the entity. But if
Oh
anything
yeah.
goes against that deal, I could see him being like, "Well, fuck you. I'm getting
Oh
my
my
man
god.
Blight, and we're gonna fuck your shit up."
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like, the entity should, like, needs to know not to fuck with this guy,
Robin,
because he will find a way to fuck you.
You can't change someone's nationality. Well, you can actually. You can change their nationality, but there's a lot of legalization that goes behind it. Uh,
Yeah, he was very relatable.
Here's a very fun story. Like I have a soft spot for westerns, to be fair.
Mhm.
They're my guilty pleasure. I know they're terrible. I know nothing about them is in any way realistic.
Mhm.
But I love them. And if there was a movie about Deathslinger, I would 100% watch that
Oh
and
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, like other than the fact that he doesn't like people that are illiterate and he likes to make torture devices, he probably could be an anti-hero in a movie.
Oh,
Like honest to
easy.
God.
Played by what's his fucking name? Han Solo.
Oh, Harrison Ford?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure that they're gonna come out with like a tome and then we're gonna be like, oh man, he's a dick,
I
but
know, right?
for
Uh
now.
Harrison Ford. And also, welcome Freddie from Haddonfield. I'm glad to see you again. Harrison Ford as Deathslinger. Why do I see it? That was the first thing that crossed my mind when I think of anti-hero. Harrison Ford. Um,
Oh,
I just he's about the right age now too, because like Deathslinger's clearly aged.
yeah,
By
he's
the time
not.
he got pulled into the entity's realm, 23.
It's like that's what 15 years in the slammer will do to you. You just age
He's
horribly.
actually only 43. A rough 23. This is what engineering school does to people.
Yeah.
That's why Markiplier quit.
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
a
I hope that
mature single man in your area looking for love.
Oh my god.
He's ready to uh
He's ready to shoot a railroad spike right through
I
your
know.
heart.
He's gonna hook you and reel you in. Not
Oh.
all of us simping for Deathslinger, man.
It's the
He's
backstory. Like I really hope that he gets a tome and it's not gonna fuck this
I
all up.
I don't want to offend anybody, but honestly, like I love him, but I would never go for anyone from South Dakota. Like
Wow.
Robin, Robin, don't fight me.
Also, I need to try and angle my camera right now because the fuzz is in a really awkward position and I want everybody to be able to see him if they can. Hang
Yes.
on. Hang
As
on.
one of the 10 people from there wobble as the other. The spear gun, find by Dino, but fuck this man and his whole town. Oh, look at the fuzz. Oh, he's just like, what are you looking at me for? Oh,
He's just hugging my leg.
he's so cute. Meanwhile, I have Coco back here trying to sleep, but I keep touching her. So I don't know how long she'll actually stay here. Unfortunately, the cat's command does not work on the podcast scenes. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
All
Yeah,
right.
I hope that his tome lore doesn't mess it up, but
I
the
know.
the the name of his guns literally just touched my heart.
I I do hope he gets a good tome,
Yeah.
but who knows when that'll be? Because it's not going to be. So nine's going to be Trickster, ten's going to be Pig. Um,
Really?
yes, I'm very excited.
Noted.
Um, no clue what. Yes, 10 is Pig confirmed. Well, DVD leaks confirmed, but like, when have they ever been wrong, right?
Mhm.
uh, so yeah, Pig. Dino confirmed. uh, so very excited about that, and I'm sure they'll keep making tomes because they're. I'm pretty sure their riffs have been pretty successful.
Mhm.
You want to get
That
in?
and from the way that they keep on asking the questions in that survey,
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be trying to angle at whether or not they should do a movie or a TV series.
I know.
And I'm like, guys, give it to us.
I
We've got the source material for you right here.
I would love it so much. Yeah, the satisfaction survey. One of the questions was what external media would you be interested in seeing Dead by Daylight involved with? And the options were like comics, manga, TV, movies, books, things like that. And immediately I was like, TV series. No hesitation.
I would absolutely read something, but I'm also a kind of an avid reader, so
Musical. Oh
oh
my
my
god.
it would just be the Trickster. Can we just have that? Like it's the Trickster's like season and it's just a musical.
Love that. Tell me why I could see a Trickster anime or something because they keep giving us Trickster anime and it's
Yeah.
all beautiful. They confirmed. So you know how the Tome archives always give like a little animation of one of the stories?
Mhm.
They confirmed that the Tricksters will be in anime style.
Ooh.
So I love that. I hope they start doing them like giving the killers when they do stuff like that different aesthetics.
That'd be cool.
I don't know what for like example, I don't know what Deathslingers would be, but I think that would be really cool.
That would be neat. It'd just be like a the old Western movie aesthetic.
The clown one with the cartoony thing was cool. Yes, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding. But yeah, Western aesthetic is cool. Terrible time in history, but cool aesthetic.
Yeah.
But when has a time in history been not terrible? In
Yeah.
all fairness, I need to get that page up also. The Deathslinger.
Or for those of us that fuck it up, the gunslinger.
Did you wait? Did you say that in your video? Because I didn't.
No, I call him gunslinger all the time. I
Oh yeah.
don't know why, but it just comes at me.
Sometimes when I'm alone, I jokingly call him the hash slinging slasher. Just because it's fun, you know?
Pepe Le Pew Pew.
Oh man. They should give Huntress a skunk mask.
I would
Skunk
love a skunk mask.
Skunks are adorable.
Maybe
Kitten
it's the fuck off massive gun he has.
It's fair. Skunks are kittens of the woods.
Yeah,
Have you ever held one?
I have not.
Oh, it's just like holding like they weigh about as much as Catan does. It's just like holding a small cat.
Oh,
They're precious.
I always thought skunks were really adorable.
They are. All right. So we finally have a map. It's
Yeah.
been a minute. But we have a map. Dead Dog Saloon. Many of you may not know about this map or that it exists because it's been out of the game for what, like 3 months now?
Yeah, I miss it. It was like my favorite
I
map.
love that map so much. It's a great map.
Every
Um,
time we go there, I'm just like, yay!
it gives you the
Like
opposite feeling of RPD.
killer or survivor. I'm just like, yes, it's just as small as I need it to be.
I
Can't wait
might
for
be
them to throw it
exaggerating.
back
I'm just
there.
guessing that it's 3 months. I miss Dead Dog too. Speaking of, somebody posted a clip on TikTok of them playing during the PTB because they were as Michaela, right?
Mhm.
And it's just a clip of Hillbilly just launching himself from roof to roof on top of all the buildings.
Oh
And I was like, I swear to God, if those patch notes come out on Tuesday and they say that they've changed their mind and Dead Dog's not coming back yet because of some issues, I'm blaming this Billy. Why you gotta dick around like that?
God,
It's been so long.
like just let the Billy do it. Just let what's the harm of letting them sit on the roof like that?
Let Billy fly free.
Yeah.
Free my
They're
man
just like
Billy.
they're just sitting on the corner just like staring at you like the chainsaw Batman that he is.
Yes, yes,
Just
that
sleep and
Billy,
see.
that Billy specifically, yes.
Ugh. Honestly, if I died to a Billy that was going from building top to building top, I probably would die because I'm just entertained watching him. So
Yeah,
just
just
let the poor guy go.
same.
Let him be happy. They have a hard enough time steering.
Except for that one Billy that we went up against, who
Oh
was
my
like
god.
an absolute god at curving.
Yeah.
That was amazing. No boots, no boot add-ons.
Just imagining that that guy's just like actually using a steering wheel.
Dude,
Just push the
his
mouse and just
I know he was PC. His DPI has to be off the charts. A man with a good curve is dangerous. Thank you, thank you. All right. Dino gonna hunt that Billy down and burn their house down. Shh. We don't make threats where they can be clipped. Okay. So first dead and last survivor. I So let me tell you, I have two thoughts for last survivor, and it depends on two very different scenarios.
okay.
One, I thought about the only person who I think would actually like try to fight back and also could take Deathslinger in a fight is David.
My god, a fight he could win.
Yes. Um so I was like he could survive, but also same logic, he could be first dead. For the exact
That
same
is
reason.
fair. Yeah.
Then I was like, but if he dies first, who's the other option? And I thought about it and I was like, you know who's slick enough to just Okay, here's the thing. Okay, there's an add-on, right? That
Hmm.
he has snake oil, which tells me that while he is smart, he was gullible enough to buy from a snake oil salesman. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
who's the slickest motherfucker who could potentially, for one, can withstand a beatdown if he needs
Yeah.
to, and also talk his way out of probably anything, and that is Ace.
I was going back and forth between Ace being first dead and last dead. Cuz I was like he is pretty slick, but I could also see him being the kind to like piss him off, like make a deal with the Deathslinger and go back on it, and then the Deathslinger is like on him for the rest of his life, like haunting him like a
Hold on.
ghost.
Let's think. Okay, plot of the movie. That's how it starts. And through the whole thing, it's Ace trying to get away from the Deathslinger who he's trying to hunt down, and everyone is collateral along the way.
Jesus Christ. This is going to be a movie featuring the Man Squad, the boys.
Yes! That could be
Yep,
a fun plot we could go off of, right?
I would love that. That's actually kind of fun. So
Could
Ace is
be
not going to be the first dead, so that'll put him in my last dead slot.
could be a poker game gone wrong.
Oh no. I could absolutely see the Deathslinger playing poker.
Oh yeah, there's like a whole gaming table in the saloon and everything.
God, so he's going to play poker with the boy squad.
Fitzpatrick feels like Ace is the one who sold him the snake oil. Texas Hold'em, yeah, yes. Um,
He sold him the snake oil and was like, by the way, you want to come play poker with the boys tonight?
so we have our head canon boy squad, which
Yes.
is all of the dudes.
Jeff, David, Ash, and Ace. Dweet's there like you know how like they always show on TV like the husband has all of his boys over and the wife's like, "Hey guys, do you need anything?" That's Dweet.
Dwight just comes out with like loaded nachos.
Yeah. Just going and
do,
giving
you,
everybody
do you gentlemen have enough
beers.
beer?
Ah, sweet Dweet.
Oh man. Somebody, oh god, I gotta find that. Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh. I got a raid. Hi. Hi, Barbie. Welcome. Welcome, all of Barbie's friends. The dollhouse is here to play. I love it. I love it. How are you guys doing? We're having a dead talk. Um,
Yeah,
Thank you for the follow,
lucky
Haley
to have
Rose.
this.
Let me give a quick shout out real quick to Barbie.
I apologize.
It's fine.
Another dog is barking outside.
No worries, no worries. Um, Thank you so much for the raid. I'm Dino. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight. On Mondays, welcome. I do a podcast with my friend Zen Batman up here, and we pick a killer of the week, and we create a um, we create a movie. I was gonna say horror movie, but at this point, sometimes it's not.
Yeah. I mean, we had that whole window was the real killer with Wraith.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Bone
Uh,
bus window.
Um, but we basically put the survivors and one killer into a fake movie scenario. We talk about how they would like die or what plot it would go with. My stream is going really well. How was yours? What did you play today? We were just talking, getting started. So it's this week's Deathslinger, and the plot idea that we were thinking about is we have some dude bros. So David, Ash, Jeff, and Ace all playing poker with Deathslinger.
I do like Lukey's suggestion that Dwight's carrying around trays of beer in assless chaps for David.
I love that. I support it. Uh, and Ace is gonna try to swindle Deathslinger somehow, which is going to lead to an entire movie of Ace trying to get away from the Deathslinger while he's on his ass, and everyone else is going to be collateral damage along the way.
Yeah.
You played DVD and some Friday the 13th. Nice! I always wanted to play Friday the 13th. We need to get into that sometime, Zen. It's like Dead by
I have.
Daylight, but you can dance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well then.
And I think you could fight the killer back, right? If
Oh.
I think you could like get a bat and hit him.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. There's also cars that you can drive.
Like my god, if they ever did that with DVD, can you just imagine just a Bubba loads in and then there's just like four survivors with baseball bats just waiting for him.
You want to camp? I'm gonna turn you into a tent. Oh my god, dude. Survivor mains wouldn't be able to handle it. Or not sorry, killer
No.
mains wouldn't be able to handle it.
No.
They'd be like, this game's already so survivor side.
Now they have baseball bats? What the fuck?
Speaking of fighting the killer back, Prop Night is free on Steam, and you can turn into things. Uh, and you can hit the killer with your body as you're an object. So I was watching Coconut, and he was a cob of corn, and then he was a hay bale, and then he was a giant hay bale, and he jumped onto the killer's head as a giant hay bale.
My god.
I haven't tried it yet. I've installed it. I haven't played it yet, but I plan to sometime this week. I really want to. It looks so much fun. Um, you can kill him, I think. Yeah, so you can kill the killer in Friday the 13th, but that's been on my list to try sometime. I'm excited. Um, anyway, back to the movie of
Yeah.
Ace swindling Caleb. Probably like hiding cards up his sleeve, you know, ace in the hole and everything.
Yeah. I think that he might get away with it, like, initially,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like, he hears about it because they need a chance to get away.
True.
Like, they get away with it, and then, like, Dwight's just talking with one of his friends, and he's like, "Yeah, the Ace went and got another one," and the Deathslinger's, like, right around the way, and Caleb's just like, "Son of a bitch."
Who's most likely to gossip with Dwight? Because I feel it's either Jane or Kate.
My god. Let's go down. Nope, 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 nope. Mhm. Yeah, I think it's Kate or Jane. I want to go with Kate.
All right. So all the boys get done playing poker. Ace leaves with a bunch of money, and they're like, "We're gonna go to the bar or the
Yep.
strip club or whatever they want to fucking go to." I don't know. Both. It's a bar slash strip club.
With a buffet.
Yes, all you can eat wings. They do finger food because if the guys get sticky fingers, they're less likely to touch.
Yeah.
So they take off. Dwight and Kate start gossiping. And because Kate's like, "Where'd the guys go?" And Dwight's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." So anyway, uh,
God,
they
all
were
the guys go off. Dwight's having a girls' night upstairs.
a little
Like
slumber
we're all just
party.
crafting.
Um, and I want you to know that your icon on my Google Sheets is a goose. Um,
That's amazing.
I thought you would enjoy that. Um, so Deathslinger overhears, realizes he got played, and thus his adventure for revenge begins.
Yes.
It would make sense if he started with Kate and Dwight
Yeah.
of trying to figure out where Ace went.
So he'd probably start with Dwight since, Dwight is part of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd probably catch him, reel him in, get some info. And then Kate because witness. He can't go back to jail again.
So Dwight's gonna die.
Yeah.
All right, Dwight is the first dead. Oh, I forgot that shit's colored. Okay. Um. Da, 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 da. Gossiping with Kate. It's, I can spell. It's caught for info, and
And
then
from this day forward,
Kate.
Caleb's gun will be called Death to Ace Visconti.
Violent death to Ace Visconti. I love it. What a story this is gonna be.
Mhm.
Okay, so then he's gonna make his way. By the way, I also had this thought because of all the shootouts that he's lived through, man got shot in the face and was fine. I don't think any of our people with guns actually stand a chance.
Yeah.
I think he's better at a shootout than they are. If that happens, if we get to a point in the story where somebody's just like, "I'll see you at the end of the street," like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, he even like broke in with his posse into the prison, and it's like he brought these railroad spike guns to an actual gunfight and won.
yeah. So, I mean, we've played Fallout 4. We know what, what a real spike gun
Yeah.
does.
Yes.
Um, so he can start meeting. I'm not going to include Michaela because she's not released yet.
Yeah. Not
But
till tomorrow.
yay! Okay. So, but everyone else
Yes.
is fair game. So Kate and Dwight dead.
Yes.
He's gonna leave to go try and find Ace. We can have him run into really anybody else.
Hmm. Who would be on the way to a strip club?
Um, not Leon. He's too wholesome,
He's a
too
good wholesome
pure.
boy.
Bill. Felix is a suggestion.
Oh,
Mm.
I feel like
Yui?
Felix might like pick up somebody random. I feel like
No, no, no. Felix is one of the VIPs. He's the dude that walks in with like all the money usually.
he's the Barney Stinson. He's just got strip clubs calling him, trying to win him over.
Exactly. Just look at the way he's dressed. He hands out 20s for tips. Like,
My God, can you see it? Okay, so he goes into the strip club after the guys were there, and all the strippers immediately start heading over there, and the guys are like, "God damn it. Now we gotta go to a different strip club." And they leave.
I love it. And then they go to like a more like a grungier one that's kind of like the one you know that big city that's just north of us that has that really gross one.
Yeah.
They go to one like that. There's Bill. So I guess Deathslinger would have got the information that they were heading to a strip club, right?
Dwight probably told him which one, because, they gotta have a favorite.
Right. Like, oh, they always go to this one.
Yeah.
We could pick some people to be strippers there, like Steve and Steve,
Jeff could be on his way to the strip club to
Meg.
clock in as a cleaner because he crusty.
Stop it. Jeff's not crusty. Jeff is
I
the
just,
cleanest person on this roster.
just see them like they always go to this strip club because Ash thinks that the girls are into his hand attachments. They're not.
Meg and Nia can be dancers, performers.
I don't think Bill would go to his granddaughter's strip
No,
club.
no, this is at the nice one.
Okay, the nice one. Okay.
Um,
Nia's
stripper
not even a
Steve. Okay,
Nia's
where
not
is
a
this movie?
stripper. Nia bought admission. She's not even a stripper. She's just low riding around stealing wallets.
Oh shit. I love
That's how
that.
she dies. She goes and she picks Caleb's pocket and he just railroads her.
I don't know what the actual job title is called. I'm just going to call it house mother, but that's Jane. Basically she's the one who keeps like the break room and everything like stocked with like snacks and meals for the
Mhm.
girls. Make sure that they have like a place to rest and that like their little showers and everything are always clean and like just basically takes care of them while they're working and make sure that their work environment is safe and
I,
comfortable.
I mean, she could also be there because she was doing a talk show and she wanted to find out what it was like in the strip clubs.
She could be.
Her and Zarina are working on a co-op story.
Ooh. And they choose the nice one to go to.
Yeah. They're trying to dig into the secret underworld of strip clubs, but they're not willing to go that far into the underworld.
They're
Like, this is the
trying
strip club in the nicer part of
they're
town.
they're trying to desensationalize sex work
Yeah.
and be like it's normal, it's fine. Look, it's not that bad.
Mhm.
Here's Meg.
Let's have a talk with her.
So Meg's a dancer. Jane and Serena are there interviewing. Felix is gonna walk in after Caleb and
I thought
or
Felix
before
was doing
Caleb.
it, yeah,
Sorry.
because he runs the boys out because all the strippers want to get those $20 tips.
Perfect. So then I mean, we could just call these four dead if Deathslinger's just like, where'd they go?
Yeah, he's just asking questions he knows. Like
Ev-
he sees He sees something that they left there.
And each time that they don't give him an answer because they genuinely don't know, and he's like, I can't trust anyone now.
Yeah.
And every time he doesn't get an answer, they die. So let's see. Zarina, Jane, Philix, Meg. I know Nia's there low riding, but I feel like she'd be like one of the last ones noticed because low riding.
Yeah.
Um, making an expose and has no answers. Look it up. All right. Felix showed up with his wallet.
He keeps two wallets in his back pockets.
uh, also,
Meg's just there trying to pay for college.
just just working. Terrible schedule. Unlucky. Oh. And then Nia.
She tried to pick his pockets. Little did she know that Ace already emptied that shit.
Do you really want her to try to go for his pockets?
I mean, it's a good time. He's busy.
True. All right. Cool. That's a good chunk down.
Yeah.
All right. So from here, he may have gotten an answer. Probably Meg probably knows the most, to be fair. She probably had to have the misfortune of dancing for one of them.
I was gonna say she might have like went over to Jane and Serena to do the interview after she was over doing a lap dance, and when Felix walked in and they like everybody started migrating, they're like, somebody better stay over here. This is terrible customer service. We're going to the other strip club.
Yeah, and then that's how she knew where he went. And even though
Yeah.
she was like, because she was like one of the last ones to die, right? So she was basically like, they went to whatever place they want to call it.
Yeah.
We'll call it Sapphires. They went to Sapphires, and and you know his whole policy, no witnesses.
Yep.
Robin says, little does she know that he is in fact not happy to see her, and it is in fact a gun in his pocket.
Yes.
Love that. All right. So now we go to the not great, not
Yes.
as not as nice strip club.
Yes.
Part of me wants to laugh at the thought of Yunjin.
I feel like she could be the manager there.
I was also that was in my mind too. I could see that. This is where Steve's a stripper. While it's not as fancy as the other one, we'll call it Rubies. Sapphires gives you the option of men and women performers.
Yeah.
Steve and Nancy actually work there together. Uh, Lukey wants Quentin to work there, doing
I
a
mean,
fireman routine with Steve.
just the teen squad shows up. Once one gets a job, all of them gets a job. They're like, "Listen, she doesn't she takes fake IDs. Let's do this."
So that's Lori, Fung, Quentin, Nancy, Steve.
Yes.
They all work at this club. Yunjin's
Yes.
the manager. I
And
could
Yunjin does
see.
not check ID.
Perfect. So, per Lukey's request, Quentin and Steve have a whole like fireman routine that they do. Lori, who is arguably the most responsible one, bartender.
Yes.
Um, I think the boys could be drunk enough and rowdy enough by the time they get there that Lori's just like, you gotta leave!
Either that or they start like harassing Quentin and Steve because they want to see the girls and they get kicked out for being too rowdy or for
Yes.
harassing them.
I
And the girls are just behind the curtain like, please let them go. Let them leave. Please, God.
Fung and Nancy are just back there like, oh god. I like this. I just, as long as they get kicked out, that's the goal that I have.
Yeah.
So
Because you
they
know they're gonna like that's the first thing they're gonna do. If they get out there on the stage, like I don't think Ash at any point is going to be happy with a dude on stage.
not Ash, no. Um
So
David, I
I
think
don't
would be
know about
fine
how
with it. I think,
yeah.
well, David probably would enjoy it. I
Yeah.
think Jeff would be just like, it's not that bad. They're actually good dancers. And Ace would just be like, yeah, you're right. And then Ash is just like, where's the fucking titties?
Yeah. He put on his hand attachment with a good grip. He's really upset right now.
One of them cops a feel of Quentin thinking he's a girl and gets thrown out. Jeff would have dared Ace to do it,
And Ace would have done it.
and Ace would
That
have done it. I like this. I like where you're going, Lukey.
so I just like the fact that like it's probably gonna be Yunjin that kicks him out. You know she's gonna come out with like a baseball bat or something, like get the fuck out.
It's actually it's Trickster's baseball bat
Oh yeah.
with all the blades and shit on it. That would get them to run. Uh, so yeah, and if she chases them out, she can see which direction down the street they go.
Yep.
So she's the next information source. When
Mm-hmm.
Caleb shows up and says, I'm looking for a man with a baseball cap and really bad sunglasses.
I don't think that they in this case would actually be like having a hard like nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, I haven't seen it. Yunjin's gonna be like, are you gonna kill him? Yeah. Great. This is where they went and just walk him outside and point.
With the baseball bat.
Yeah. Like Yunjin's like, do you need any help? Do you need any money? Do you want a beer to go on the house? Like like
So
they that strip club gets spared because Yunjin is that petty.
are you saying Nancy gets to live?
I'm saying Nancy gets to live. The teen squad survives because while their manager is questionable, she is very happy to help get the guys just mowed down. Nobody touches her dancers that are definitely over 18.
Yeah, she doesn't need any, cops showing up.
Yeah. It's gonna turn up asking for a man. Yunjin will point to Steve and say $25 gets him for half an hour. No touch.
What? Hold on, repeat that.
Luki said he's gonna turn up asking for a man, and Yunjin will point to Steve and say $25 gets him for half an hour, no touching.
Hi, Alma Box. Oh my goodness. So, warping. Uh, let's see. Okay. So they all get to live. Let me go ahead and just, before I forget.
It's just absolute cooperation.
Right. Because there's like, yeah, we don't like them either.
Yeah.
Okay, who do we have left? We have Claudette, Jake, Bill, David, Tap, Adam,
Mhm.
Jeff, Ash, Yui, Cheryl, Elodie, Jill, and Leon.
So I feel like Jill, Leon, and Tap would probably be investigating a series of deaths at a strip club at this point.
Fair enough. Fair
Because, I
enough.
mean, we're assuming that they're all out there walking. Nobody's got a car. Nobody's
Yeah, yeah.
calling an Uber. They're just stumbling down the street. So we literally have the man squad going from place to place. Caleb's like on their trail going from place to place. And then the cops are following place to place asking the same question.
Because somebody was a neighbor and heard Kate screaming when Dwight died and called the cops. And when they came to investigate, they found their bodies. And then they just
Yeah.
followed the trail of blood.
They just found Kate and a man in assless chaps and thought the strip club's probably where he came from. These are very high quality.
Perfect. So our cops are on the case.
Yes.
All right. Wait,
They
Cheryl's part of the teen squad.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want her to be here or do we want her to be somewhere else? It's
Let's
easiest if
have her
we.
s let's have her somewhere else. I don't think
Okay.
Cheryl would go to the strip club.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, so I forgot about her.
Like, I feel like everybody else could do peer pressure and end up there, but I don't think Cheryl's been through so much stuff, peer pressure has no effect on her.
Yeah. So Cheryl, Elodie, Yui, Adam. Bill, Jake, and Claude.
Yeah.
One of these needs to own like a 7-Eleven or be working at a 7-Eleven.
I
The
could see
guys have
Dwight
been kicked
working at a
out of
7-Eleven.
who?
Dwight,
He's already
or not
dead.
Dwight, uh, Bill, maybe.
Bill.
He's just sitting outside of the 7-Eleven smoking a cigarette.
My thought was they've been kicked out of 2 strip clubs and they're just like, fuck it. Let's go get some snacks and some more beer. So they stumble in, drunk, causing a ruckus. Bill's yelling at them to settle down before they break something. David's
And
like, I'll break you, old man.
Bill just pulls a gun out and is like, "Get your snacks and get out."
Thank you for stopping by, Kira. I hope you have a good night. Uh, I like that. I like the idea of Yui also working there. Like, they're just like the midnight shift. They're just because like their manager's just like, okay, if somebody were gonna rob the place, who can handle it? Yui and Bill.
That is true.
So we could have 2 of them there. He's out on a smoke break. She's inside. The boys cause a ruckus. She's yelling at them to like stop. There's like a cardboard cutout that they're just groping, and they're like, "Remember when you touched the stripper race?" Like, reenacting it.
I just imagine like the 7-Eleven hired them specifically for this purpose. Yui just comes out of the back with a broomstick, snaps it in half over a leg, and is just like, "I'm going to shove this so far up their asses."
Bill hears the ruckus. Robin says she's also on a smoke break, but inside. Which
She's
I love
vaping.
that. Yes. Bill hears the ruckus, comes inside, and he's just like, "You gotta go, boys." David threatens to fight him. Then Yui just like decks David. Calls it self-defense.
They say they might call the cops because they're causing a ruckus. Like
Ooh.
if they're like, "We're not gonna leave, damn it," and then Bill's like, "I'm calling the cops," and they're like, "Well, it's time for us to go."
Good one. I like that. Okay, yeah. So they're being disruptive drunkards. Bill threatens to call the cops. They leave.
Because like I could just imagine that the cops show up to like Yunjin's strip club, and Yunjin's like, "Oh no, didn't see anybody at all. Nope, nope." nobody here. Don't need to come in. Nobody showed up. Nope, 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 nope.
And then dispatch is just like, we have a, what's it fucking called? This is just like this is just like a civil disturbance or something. Is that what they call it?
um, Disturbing the peace, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
They got
At
a
a convenience
white
store.
male and a white cap and sunglasses, a man with a strange hand attachment, a man that looks like his face is hidden in a bush, and another man threatening to fight people. Can we get somebody down to the 7-Eleven? And then they're just like, "That's our guys."
So they make their way there, which means by the time so Yunjin pointed Caleb in the right direction, I think the cops might beat him there.
This might be our shootout.
We could have the cops, Yui and Bill, all versus Caleb. So the cops are there trying to get information. Caleb shows up and just like, "Have you seen a guy?" And then the cops are just like, "We're busy here."
They're like, "Excuse me, you've seen the guy? We too are looking for the
The guy.
guy."
um at which point, because if Caleb came in and was just like totally didn't care that they're doing like a cop thing, because he's from during the time of bounty hunting, he doesn't
Mhm.
know really what a cop is. um I feel like he would just interrupt them, and then one of them would just be like, "Excuse me, sir, you have to hold on a minute. We're busy." And I feel like it's Leon. And then Caleb just shoots him outright.
And
It's just
then
like, "I'm busy too."
we begin
And then we
the
begin.
shootout.
And I think they would all die.
Oh, good lord.
All right. Uh, Yui and Bill can be collateral from the shootout.
My god, just imagine like he shot Leon and it just went straight through him and hooked Bill. It was a
Ah,
twofer.
I love it.
Two birds with one railroad spike.
I love that. That's so gruesome. I think Jill and Taps would react so fast.
Oh yeah, they'd start shooting. He might have to drop Death to Ace Visconti and whip out Violent Death to Ace Visconti because it would take too long to detach Bill and Leon.
Fair enough.
Take cover, begin the shootout.
So,
Like I feel like Yui might actually like try and tackle him, but you know,
yeah, I
she
could.
doesn't even get shot. He just like puts that what puts the bully mask on her. Cuz you know he's
Oh,
got to be packing more devices than just the Death to Ace Visconti guns.
that makes me sad.
Yeah.
All right, they're all taken care of. His trails run cold. Who's left alive? We have Claudette, Jake, obviously the boys, Adam,
Yeah.
Cheryl, and Elodie. Claudette, Jake, Adam, Cheryl, and Elodie. Got it.
I could also see them like making their way into a neighborhood. Like they just got kicked out of the 7-Eleven and they like go onto somebody's lawn and they're like, "Hey, Ace, I bet you $5 you can't talk someone into giving us beer from their fridge." And they just like walk up to a random house and it's Claudette and she's just like, "Please leave. Please leave." And like the commotion is enough to tip off Caleb where they're at.
Ooh, I like this.
Which I think Claudette would probably go hide in her fucking house at that point. Like, shut the door, lock it, hiding. The boys try and run, and we might lose like Jeff because I imagine
I
that
think he's
out
the
of
slowest.
yeah, he's probably the slowest and probably not as fit as the other guy.
We got a couple rows just to be safe here. Okay. I think Ace could cut the chain. Not Ace. Ash could cut the chain with
Yeah.
his special hand. Um, but
Oh
I
God,
think Jeff's dead anyway.
I was gonna say he could shoot Jeff, and then Ash cuts the chain, and David just grabs Jeff, and they take off running. And like Adam sees them and takes them in to try and help them because Adam's our sweet boy.
Oh,
And Jeff dies. Like there's nothing he can do. He did the best that he could, but there's nothing he could do. So now Adam has the slinger at his door. Claudette's still in her house.
safe and sound.
Yeah. But as far as Caleb's concerned, Adam is now harboring a criminal.
Oh no.
So yeah.
I love Adam.
I do too. He's
Uh,
too sweet. He keeps on dying because he tries to save people, but
you
he's
know.
just too sweet.
So Deathslinger just kicks down Adam's door
Yeah, I
and
could see
just
Adam being
shoots on sight.
he's just like, guys, go out the back door. I'll try and reason with him. He doesn't get a single word out. But the boys are off.
And they run to the next house, which is Jake Cheryl's or Elodie's.
I mean, I could see Elodie and Cheryl being together.
Roomies.
If nothing else, Elodie collects antiques and weird shit. Cheryl is weird shit.
Elodie has collected Cheryl.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
So those two are just at their, together and Elodie didn't lock her door. Felix said he was gonna be in the neighborhood. Uh just never made it, so she left the door unlocked for him.
And in comes rushing Ash, David, and Ace. That's horrifying.
Yes.
I think they would. I think Elodie and Cheryl would fight on sight.
Yes.
They would grab the nearest like fucking table lamp and be
Yeah.
ready to throw down instantly.
Which of course now Caleb knows exactly where they are because there's the sound of shrieking and shit's shattering everywhere. And he comes to the door and they're just like, "Help us, these men are in here." And Caleb's like, "I'm on it." Like they pointed him in the right direction. He is on his way, which would probably bring them out to Jake, who's out in the woods. So they're probably going to make a run for it in the woods.
Wait, I think he can get one of them inside of the girl's house.
Okay.
Um on. Let me move that up there. Uh, who's the options? It's not going to be 8. I want to leave David and Ace actually for the end. So Ash,
Okay.
and that when he's killed, like in the process of killing and unspearing Ash, gives David and Ace time to run.
My God, I could see like Slinger gets a hold of Ash, and Ash like pulls out his shotgun, but Cheryl and Elodie are still throwing shit at him, so he can't get a good shot because they're actually helping Slinger because these fuckers broke into the house. So
I
Ash dies to Elodie, Cheryl, and Caleb. They're just thanking him on the way out.
and he's just like, ladies.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second.
Because that's the one thing about his lore is he is very specific about who he goes for.
Yes.
So
As long
if
as
you're not
nobody's in the way, like.
yeah, and they're like everybody that has actively helped him so far has survived.
All right. Let me go ahead and we gotta add a couple of survivors here. So, Claudette, Elodie, and Cheryl. All right, our last 3, David and Ace, run off into the woods. There's a man out there.
Yeah.
No one knew. And
Surprise.
they're probably just like, you gotta help us. There's a madman after us.
Oh God.
And I think Jake would help.
I think he would too.
I think Jake would be like, yeah, go come this way. I gotta shelter.
Yeah, he might help them like go into hiding and then try and set up an ambush. Like Jake's gonna start tracking him
Mm.
because Caleb's smart, but he does not have a lot of like woodland experience because he's out in the like
He's in the
after he gets
desert.
yeah, when he gets out of jail, he's in the desert. He doesn't know how to track. But Jake does.
Good,
So
good.
Jake might actually help them set up the ambush.
Will he, when they do ambush, will Jake die?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like he's not invested enough to risk his life. Like he'll help with the ambush, but he's not gonna be super active.
He'll just be like, here's the instructions.
Here you go, guys. Good luck.
uh,
Bye. Don't
um,
tell anybody I'm out here. Have a good day.
makes like a tree and leaves.
Yep.
Cool. So I think he'll make it. And then that leaves David and Ace. Ambush has been set up. They're hiding in a bush.
Mm-hmm.
They're waiting. They hear that weird sound that Deathslinger makes when he walks. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The sound of him approaching.
And this is the part where I imagine that the ambush would involve Ace like yelling so he gets his sights like aimed at a certain direction.
And then David actually jumps him.
David just jumps him and just punches him right in the dick and takes him down.
Then David and Ace kiss him and they all live happily ever after. That's Robin.
I think they just beat the hell out of him and they staple him to the ground like he did to his boss. But like his boss, the Deathslinger may have lived.
Here's okay, can I for a second?
Yes.
Okay. Imagine they do that. They nail him to the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
They leave thinking it's done. After they're gone, he's out in the woods groaning, thinking he's dead. He hears footsteps. He turns his head, and there's this curly haired redhead who's just like, oh no, you look really injured. I can help with that. She pulls out of her bag some bones and candles and builds
Oh
a circle of
no.
healing. Enter Michaela Reed.
And so the sequel is born.
Uh, we've introduced a new survivor. Thought it was gonna be like Yunjin, like being like, nah, we gotta kill them.
That would have been amazing. She just comes out and like all the people that Ash and Ace and David and Ash and Jeff have pissed off. Just all of them make their way out into the woods and help the slinger get up to fight him. uh
Ian turns up and just stands over him and goes, I said no touching, before smashing his face with the bat.
my god.
No, Yunjin teamed up with him. She's just like, no, Yunjin shows up and says, you promised you were going to kill them, and then kills him instead. I'm going to stick with the Michaela ending so that we can introduce her for next week's Dead Talk. Let's run down this whole movie. We got a lot of survivors.
We did.
I like it. So this starts off with David, Jeff, Ash, Ace, and the Deathslinger all having a poker night. Dwight, the ever caring husband of David,
Yeah,
making
that's so
sure the
cute.
boys are having a good time. He's wearing his assless chaps, very nice assless chaps, 100% leather, studded, clean. They look
Mhm.
good. He's wearing those. He's bringing out loaded nachos, making sure they have enough beer, and they're all having a fine and dandy night. Little does Caleb know that Ace has been scamming him the whole time, and when he wins all of the money and they call it a night, the boys are like, "Let's go out to the club." So they head over to the nice strip club, Ruby's, and uh while the Deathslinger is gathering his things, he hears Kate and Dwight gossiping from the next room, where Dwight's telling her, yeah, the guys had this plan to swindle this dude, take all of his money. Caleb comes around the corner and is just like, what did you just say? And Dwight stammers and he's just like, I didn't say anything. So Caleb's just like, where did they go? And Dwight's just like, they went to the strip club. And so he's just like, thank you, and shoots him. And then no witnesses, because Kate screams very, very loud when uh when Dwight gets killed. And so to get rid of the witnesses, Caleb just gets her taken care of too and makes his way onto the strip club. Now a neighbor did hear Kate scream. That was suspicious. They called the cops. We'll get there in a second. All right. The boys go to the strip club. They're having a good time. They have all of the money, all of the girls. It's a great time. But then this guy shows up. And as soon as he shows up, the girls are just like, oh, it's Felix. And they know that's where the money is. So they make their way over to Felix, and one of them stops them, and they're just like, hey, wait, this isn't good customer service. You can't just leave us and ignore us just because someone else came in here with all the money. And so they pull this one girl, Meg, unfortunately, back, and she's stuck with them for a little bit. Um, Serena and Jane are in there also, enjoying themselves. Let's be real, they were enjoying themselves, but they were also there to kind of talk to some of the performers, to basically demystify stripping and sex work in general. Um, And while they were there, they saw Meg was just kind of off on her own, even though she was with customers or whatever. But when she appeared that she was done, they're like, hey, come over here. We want to interview you. So they pull Meg away. She's very lucky. The guys are upset about being left alone. They're like, fine, we're going to go to Sapphire's. And so they leave. After they leave, the Deathslinger, Caleb, shows up. And he sees Zarina and Jane first. And says, hey, I'm looking for some guys. And they're just like, yeah, we don't know who you're talking about. We weren't paying attention to you guys. We're busy. We're working. And he shoots them for not cooperating. He turns to some of the customers, including Felix, who also was just like, I was watching the girls. Also, no information. Dies. Meg, unlucky. She was just working. She was just like, yeah, no, I did see them. They were going to the other clubs, Sapphires. And because of his no witness policy, he shoots her too. While he's busy shooting, Nia is just like, this is my opportunity to pickpocket. He's busy. Let's see what money he has. She pulls out his wallet. It's empty. To her dismay, who fucking goes to a strip club empty-handed? But like, what? He obviously didn't come for the strippers. And he catches her. He's not gonna have a thief trying to steal from him, so he shoots her. And then he makes his way off to the next strip club, Sapphires. While the boys were here, Nancy and Fung were waiting for their turn to do performances. Quentin and Steve were doing their firefighter coordinated dance that they had together. And Jeff bet Ace that he couldn't grope Quentin and get away with it. Jeff was right, but Ace was going to take the bet anyway. When he does this, Lori yells at him not to touch the dancers. And then Yunjin comes out with a baseball bat and says, who's fucking touching the dancers? The baseball bat has blades on it. It's a very scary weapon, and the boys respect that. And so when she tells them to get the fuck out of her club, they do. And they stumble off, and she's just like, never fucking come back here again. And then business proceeds as usual. The cops have made their way to the first strip club, where there was just an absolute fucking mass murder scene. And they're like, something's happening here. And I don't remember what details we gave. I'm lost, Zen, but somehow they realized that they need to go to the other strip club.
Maybe they just had intuition.
I'd say a detective's hunch.
Yeah.
So they head to the other strip club. Or no, they're investigating that one first. Caleb needs to go to the other strip club first. He walks in and he's like, I'm looking for a guy. And Yunjin's just like, what guy? And he's like, baseball cap, sunglasses. And she's just like, oh, that guy. The guy that touched one of my dancers? And he's like, yeah. And she's just like, yeah, if I see him again, I'm gonna fucking kill him. And he's like, me too. And she's like, really? He went that way. And so he's just like, thank you, ma'am. And leaves, following the direction that she pointed at. The cops still... Oh, no, they did actually go to the next strip club. They were just stuck investigating the first one, right? And then they got a call?
They went to Yunjin, and she
Oh,
was
that's
like,
right.
oh, no, never saw it. And that's when they got the call to the 7-Eleven.
That's right, yes. So they went to Yunjin's, and then she was immediately just like, she doesn't deal with cops.
Yeah.
Little issues there. So she's just not cooperating with them at all. Meanwhile, the boys have been out of 7-Eleven since they left her place, trying to get snacks. There's like cardboard cutout that they're groping and be like, remember Race when you touched that answer? They're drunk. They're throwing snacks back and forth. Yui yells at them. Bill was on a smoke break, comes back in, tells them to knock it off. Yui breaks a broom in half and says, if you guys don't get out of this fucking store, I'll shove this up of your assholes. There's 4 of you and 2 ends to each of these. Like, ready to kick some fucking ass. So Bill's just like, I'm calling the cops. So he calls the cops, and uh the guys are just like, oh shit, not the cops. So they leave. And Leon, Tap, and Jill are in the neighborhood because they've been called with these murders, and then they get a dead end when they hit Yunjin's place. Then dispatch calls and says, hey, we got a disturbance of peace right down the block from you guys at a 7-Eleven. And they're like, yeah, we'll go check it out. So they all get there. They're talking to Yunjin and Bill, trying to figure out what's going on. And what they called about getting the descriptions of the guys, Caleb walks in. And he's just like, excuse me, I'm looking for a man. And then Leon's just like, excuse me, sir, we're busy here. We'll be with you in a moment. And then Caleb's just like, you'll be with me now, and shoots Leon. Immediately. When he shoots Leon, the spike goes through him and into Bill, and Bill just gets pinned to the wall. Jill and Tap immediately pull out their guns and shoot. And Caleb takes cover to get out another weapon so he could take them down. Yui goes to tackle him to try to help the cops out because she's not afraid. She's fought demons before. This man's nothing. He's a twig. But he pulls out of his pocket a spiked mask and shoves it in her face. Which that definitely knocked her back. she couldn't fight after that. Yeah. And that left him open to go ahead and just shoot Jill and Tap. And the shootout ended with Caleb walking out, reeling his spear gun back in. Hot on the trail of the boys, who have wandered their way into a nice little neighborhood. And they were daring each other to go knock on a door, saying, hey, that you can't have somebody here give us some beer straight from their fridge. And they start harassing this girl, Claudette, at her door, and she's just like, no, I don't have any beer. Can you leave? And they're like, no, you gotta have something. Girl your age, you have to be in college, you got beer. And she's like, no, please leave me alone. And they're getting loud. She's getting loud, telling them to leave. Caleb hears it. He starts taking his way over. She sees him, man with a giant rifle, and she's just like, nope. And closes and locks the door. The guys see him, and they're like, oh shit. They take off running. Jeff is unfortunately the slowest runner, and so when he shoots, Jeff gets caught. Ash uses his special hand to break the chain and free Jeff. And they take off running. Jeff's bleeding. He's dying. And they knock on a nearby door, and it's Adam, and he sees the dude with the spear in his gut. And he's like, oh shit, get inside. Because he knows it can't be good. And Adam just wants to help. Unfortunately, it's been too much stress, too much blood loss. Jeff doesn't make it. And they're just like, there's this guy, the guy that shot him, he's after us. And Adam's like, it's fine, guys, you run. There's some woods back there. You take off running. I'll hold him off for you. And they're like, yeah, thank you. So they ran out the back door. When Caleb kicks down Adam's door, because he saw exactly where they went inside, all he sees is Adam, and just immediately shoots before Adam can even try to negotiate or stop him. I hate that. Anyway, the guys end up going to the another house, a couple down over, and the door's unlocked, and they're like, perfect. They rush right inside. Cheryl and Elodie just having a girls' night, just chilling. 3 dudes run into their home. They scream, because it's one of the most horrifying things that could happen. Grab the nearest object and get ready to start beating the shit out of them. In fact, they are beating the shit out of them when Caleb also comes through the door. The guys are like, fuck no, we gotta go. And then Elodie and Cheryl are just like, they broke into our house, kill them. And so he shoots, catches Ash. David and Ace make a run for it. Elodie and Cheryl are helping him beat Ash to death. because how dare he break into their home. After Ash is taken care of, they're just like, Elodie and Cheryl, like, they ran out the door, it looked like they ran to the woods, and he's just like, thank you, ladies, and leaves. When David and Ace ran out into the woods, there was a man there who apparently had been living in the woods named Jake. And they're like, listen, there's this guy after us. He has a gun. He's trying to shoot us. He's killed our friends. And Jake's like, hey, dude, no, it's fine. Listen, I got a shelter out here. Come on. And he takes them in, and he's just like, comes up with a plan. He's like, hey, you gotta ambush them. So if one of you's like a distraction, the other can jump him. And when you got him on the ground, it's a lot easier. You can fight him, get him tied up, whatever, call the cops. End of day. And they're like, that's a great plan. And Jake's like, here's a good spot for it. You can do it here. I've ambushed many squirrels in my day. And he's like, you guys got this? And they're like, yeah, we're good. You're gonna help. And Jake's like, actually, I gotta go. And so Jake leaves. He doesn't want to be part of that. Dude's got a gun. So David and Ace are set up, ready to go. And when they hear Deathslinger approaching, Ace calls out to him to get his attention. While he's distracted, David tackles him to the ground. They punches him in the dick, and just that definitely is a blow. But they beat the shit out of him, grab his gun, shoot him in the gut, so that he is speared to the ground. And they're just like, we did it. Our job here is done, and they leave, thinking he'll never be after them again. Little do they know, Michaela Reed enters the scene. She sees a man lying in the woods with a spear through his gut, and she thinks, I can help. I can heal him. And she stops and she pulls out some bones and candles to create a circle of healing. The end.
What a story.
There will be a sequel.